Welcome back. This is B-Side Banter. We are on episode 14. I'm here with Carly. I've been following you for a while on TikTok. You do a lot of stuff around like an indie music, but I'm going to let you kind of explain exactly what you do. So, Carly, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So yeah, I'm Carly. I run playlist curation and music blog, Haha Okay Cool Gotta Go By. Which yeah, just kind of started out as me in my like college dorm, just posting about music because I loved it so
Mm,
much. Hence
yeah,
the silly little name.
yeah,
But yeah, I've always just loved listening to music, creating playlists, sharing it. And yeah, TikTok just kind of became my avenue for that. I got a little lucky because I started right before the pandemic when everyone was on their
mm,
phones, just like
yeah,
looking
yeah,
for a place to connect. And yeah, that's kind of when things started taking off, and I built Haha Capable Gotta Go By into what it is.
yeah.
And yeah, it's mostly just playlist curation, sharing indie music. I love to share new artists I found and help them find new audiences, and help people find their new favorite music because it's one of my favorite things to do
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome. Do you because I know with playlist curation, like some people just I guess make playlists from, whatever, and then you've got like the avenue of playlist curation where they take like submissions and stuff like that. Like is that do you do that portion, or are you mostly just organic? It's what you see, what you find, what you like.
Yeah, it's definitely organic. It's something that I just like love doing myself so much. Like I love organizing
Mm.
music into specific moods and kind of like being creative with it. I've
Yeah.
done playlists based on like colors because I think it's just kind of fun to like organize them into
Mhm.
like the moods that they give off, or like whenever like I'm like find a song that I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. Like I need so much more music like this. Like I need to listen to this song but for
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, no. It's
So
great.
yeah, just kind of a little natural flow, I guess.
Yeah, totally. This is like totally way off topic, but have you heard of that weird thing that I didn't know was a thing until probably like a few months ago, where you like you like see music in color? It's like
I have,
it's got a
yeah,
long scientific word that I don't remember what it's called. But when you said that, I was like, that's so funny because in my mind, jury is still out whether that's real or not. It's just so weird to me that that would be a thing, but I don't know. I
yeah,
guess I
yeah.
don't
I've
know.
I've heard of that a lot, especially because I make all these playlists. So people are
Sure,
like,
yeah.
oh, like, do you have like synesthesia? And I,
There you
I
go.
don't know.
That's it.
I feel like I'm kind of go back and forth on if I have it, if it's real,
Okay,
like what it
okay.
is. I don't know.
Sure. Have you had any
Jury's still out,
people
but
have you had any people that have it that have listened to like that color of a playlist of yours and been like, "This is exactly right. This is exactly what I see." Or
yeah,
no?
a little bit. I feel like I've
Yeah.
had some comments like that, or in my interview with Phineas, he's someone that has synesthesia, and he was,
Oh, I
I
had
don't
no
know, we were kind of
idea.
like talking about, yeah, kind of crazy.
Yeah.
He says it's kind of like I don't know, he thinks that people are a little too like crazy about it. He's just like, I just like associate things with color and like it's fine. He doesn't like
Okay.
control my life or whatever. But
Yeah.
we were chatting, and it was kind of crazy to hear him be like, "This song is this color," and I was like, "That's crazy because that's literally like that. Your song of that is in my like playlist called Midnight Blue, and that's
That's
exactly what you
so
said."
funny.
So that was
That's
just
so funny.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. No, I had no idea. I was that in the interview? I watched the interview.
it was. Yeah, yeah.
How
So
did I
kind of
miss that?
funny
How did I
question.
miss that? That's so
That's okay.
unless it
He
like hit my
he.
subconscious or something. I don't know.
No, that's okay. It was kind of funny because he like diagnosed me with synesthesia. He was like, "You have
Oh
it,"
yeah.
and I was like, "Really?" So kind of go funny.
I don't know where I was in that part of the
That's
interview
okay. It was
because
kind of in the middle, so I don't know. I feel like things
uh,
always get lost in
maybe
there.
maybe my daughter threw something at my head or something while I was here. I was on the couch. I was on the couch while I was watching that like your entire interview. I watched that whole interview on YouTube after you
Oh no
released your
way!
channel because Phineas is like one of my. I just think he's an amazing producer. I think he's also like amazing at everything else. He's got so much
He's
talent. But
so talented.
from a production standpoint, he's the person that if somebody's like, yeah, Phineas is on this song, and I didn't really know about it, it just like puts my excitement level like way through the roof. I think everything he does and everything he touches is amazing. I'm not as keen on his solo project stuff, his personal stuff, but like I still appreciate, like I guess I don't really love like the genre or like the style
Yeah.
he's in, but the production of it is still fantastic. So yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. He's so talented.
he's one of my favorite, and also like an amazing interview.
Thank
And I'm
you.
sure that was just like super exciting. I watched your kind of cute little video about like how you did your like how I got from here to there, like when you had like the little clips of you as a kid. And I was
Yeah,
like, that's so awesome that you, because
thank
I'm
you.
sure Phineas is like pretty high up there on your list of like people, my dream people that I would like to interview. And
Oh, for sure.
that's like kind of who you kicked this season off with. I don't know if you've done like interviews further away from this, but like this last batch of like a bunch of interviews, that's who you kicked it off with. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. I feel like he wasn't even like on my radar of like people that like I could interview. Like it wasn't even like a thought of like he would want to do something with
Yeah,
me,
you're like,
especially at the beginning of my like interview journey. So that was so crazy, so cool.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm
absolutely.
very honored that he wanted to interview me. It was crazy. I've never met someone like that famous. Like it was just like so crazy just to like I don't
Yeah,
know,
I
whole
know.
different level.
It's really, it is really crazy. And it, like, did you catch him when he was touring his own music? Is that when you caught him
Yeah.
for? Yeah, okay,
Yeah, the nice thing about Denver is it's always kind of like in the middle of the tour, the artists have a little like less going on, so it's
sure,
always a little easier to like kind of get in there, and there's
yeah,
not as much like music like creators or anyone like trying to get their attention. So
for
it's been
sure.
nice.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And yeah, was that the very first interview that kicked? Have you done interviews before, Phineas, or was that the very first one?
It was the second one like in this series that I'm doing. I did a few like years back, and they were a bit more like just over like the phone. Wasn't the best like concept, I guess. Like I
Yeah,
don't know, work in progress that one was.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I did one last November with the band Inhaler. That was
Oh,
like
I
the
did
first
see
one.
that. I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Cool.
That's, I don't know why I forgot about that one.
That's
But
okay. There
yeah,
was
no,
kind
I
of a big
remember.
big gap in between though.
Yeah, yeah, I think maybe that's why. That's actually really funny because I wrote down, I wanted to make sure that I knew all the people, and I was writing a list, and I wrote
Hmm.
Inhaler because I was like, I'm pretty sure she did it. But then when I was on your Instagram, I was like, oh no, it's Flip Turn. And I was like, wait, I thought it was Inhaler. So
Oh.
I had it in my mind. I had it
No,
in my
that's
mind.
okay. That's okay.
But yeah, it's really cool that you've kind of transitioned into this. And so maybe like walk us through what brought you to want to get into this space, because it's connected but it's not, right? Like it's two different veins of like music content creation, and you were kind of in this review slash discovery slash playlist curation. Now you're getting into interviews, which is really cool. Yeah, so maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's something I've always like kind of like dreamed about doing. I don't know. I'm from like Indiana originally, where like no one works in the music industry. Like artists
Mhm.
don't even like come there to tour. So I feel like I
Yeah.
was so like disconnected like from it. But I've always
Yeah.
loved like watch like I love watching like people interviews, like
Yeah.
interview artists and like hearing more about like how they um came up with their song or like behind the lyrics, like learning more like about like behind the music. I've
Yeah.
always loved doing that. I love watching like Zane Lowe and like Chicken Shop Day and all of that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it wasn't really until I moved to Denver where something like that really became a little more like feasible to do like in
Sure.
person. Over the
Yeah.
years I've
Yeah.
done like yeah, like I was saying, like some like over the phone just with some like smaller artists like I know and I've connected with.
Mhm.
And those are super fun, just like even like just for me, like hearing a lot about how they like created songs
Mhm.
and all of that. So I kind of always knew it was something I like wanted to get into, just wasn't sure how. And then oh, I forgot to mention these interviews. I did a couple for the festival All Things Go, who I've been doing some work with.
Okay. Yeah.
And they had me interview two artists who were like coming through Denver as like a promo for the festival because they were going to be
Sure.
playing at the festival, which was Japanese House and Bellwater Gap, who are like two of my like all time favorite artists. So
Mhm.
that was like a
Yeah.
really exciting um, opportunity that
Hmm.
just kind of like, yeah, came across and got to do. And ever since that, I was like, I definitely want to keep doing this. Like,
Yeah,
I had some
yeah.
great experiences
Hmm.
doing that. I realized it was something I wanted to continue to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of made an effort to start reaching out to people, trying to get things planned. And yeah,
Mm.
here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's
Thank
always
you.
it's always cool and exciting to hear when people are kind of, yeah, following that, whatever that dream, that side of something that they've been wanting to do for a while, and then you kind of see that success starting. So I'm glad that I'm kind of here watching along at the very beginning, because I feel like you've got a good thing going right now. Um,
Thank
but
you.
with Phineas, um, was it one of those things where you were kind of like, wow, he's so down to earth, or did you already know this? Like, you know how, like, because like you said, he's kind of, in terms of fame, he would be like, he's up there. He's definitely not Billy, but like
Yeah.
he's basically that. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like
just
he's in that world for sure.
yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, so maybe explain him like a little bit, like as a person, what you kind of thought afterward. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know. It was like a mixture of both like, oh, like he's just a guy, and then also
Mhm,
like, whoa, like famous people are on like a whole different level. Cause like I don't
mhm.
know, our conversation was just so like we were talking about music, and I was just like so sick to get to like hear like his opinions and just have that like cool
Yeah,
conversation about like learning more about the types of things he likes and like relating to all of that.
yeah.
But then it was also like I don't know, which struck me, and maybe that's just because like I haven't spent much time like in the music world, but as we were like walking in, he like made some comment to like his manager, and he was like, "Oh, like it's really dry in here. Like it'd be great to have like a humidifier." And like by the time like we were done with the interview, like the humidifier was there, like everything was like set up
That's
perfect for him. Like it was just like, whoa, like he
yeah,
really like I don't know, like he's up
yeah.
there, which was just like I don't know, just kind of crazy to be around.
That is crazy. You're like,
Yeah,
wow, I didn't know I could ask for a humidifier.
right. So cool,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where it is interesting. Yeah, it's like a both-handed thing. Like, because obviously,
yeah, for sure.
you get celebrities that are just like way out of touch. Like that, you're like, wow, they were jerks, or like, they didn't
Yeah,
care about this or something. But then you get like the really down to earth ones, really nice ones, but there's still that, like, they're in a world where they can afford things that I would never imagine, and like that, like you,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So it's a funny kind of like dichotomy there, but
for
yeah,
sure,
I've
yeah.
from watching a lot of interviews of Phineas, I always have been like, man, he just seems like very down to earth, like really chill.
Definitely.
He doesn't
Yeah, so chill.
seem full of himself at all.
I was so nervous before the interview, and then we sat down and started talking, and
Yeah,
I was like, oh, like he's just a guy, like we're just chatting. It was great, yeah.
yeah, yeah. How far in advance did you know that this was like in the works, that it was going to happen?
I think just around a week, maybe. I don't know. One of
Oh
my
wow,
friends like
pretty short.
works like yeah, like at his label and kind of was like, we've pitched this, we're like
Whoa,
waiting to hear
yeah,
back, blah blah blah. So I knew it was kind of like a possibility for a bit, but I was like,
yeah.
there's no way. But
Wow, that's
yeah,
that's pretty
crazy.
that's pretty short. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. I think it was about a week that I knew for sure that it was happening. But crazy,
Mm,
crazy,
yeah,
yeah.
it is crazy, and I'm assuming like this. Do you have some sort of an agreement like with this venue? Like that, is that the green room of like the space, or is that just like a space that you guys went to separately?
Yeah, that was just the green room. I
Yeah,
normally just kind of like coordinate with like tour manager when
sure.
works, and I'm just kind of like
Yeah,
there whenever works for them, which is just fun
yeah.
to be
No,
super
that's
flexible.
that's pretty cool.
But
That
yeah,
that also that would be fun. Just being in somebody's green
yeah,
room like before a show,
yeah,
like
it's so fun.
that'd be a lot
Yeah,
of
we've
fun.
had a range of some venues have like such tiny ones. Some of
Oh
them have
yeah.
like such nice ones.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
yeah, it's been
Yeah.
fun to explore the Denver backstage scene a little bit.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Um, So do you have several interviews coming up? Like are you just like going crazy just trying to get like interview after interview? Like I'm sure once you tasted, or got the bug, you're just like I got to
Yeah,
get more and more and more.
for sure, for sure. I feel like I'm definitely on like the interview side. I'm like, let's do like so many. But then when it comes to editing, I'm like, oh my God, like
What have
this
I
takes a
done?
lot of time. Yeah. So I have two right now that I'm like that I have filmed that I'm like working on
Okay.
editing, and then I
Okay.
have maybe two or three like in the works for the next couple months.
Mm.
So we'll
Hmm.
see. Hopefully more though.
That's
We'll see.
that's pretty exciting. That's awesome.
It is really exciting. It's fun to
Yeah.
actually have things like planned and happening and
Hmm.
all of
Hmm.
that. Very exciting.
Yeah,
Very
and like
honored.
once kind of that like ball gets rolling, that momentum, like it does feel like you just keep gaining ground and gaining traction, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
that it gets really exciting. Um, yeah.
for sure.
Well, I thought that especially I liked all your interviews, but I especially thought the Phineas one was really cool and definitely
Thank
caught my
you.
eye just because it's like one of those things where you're like, whoa, she's interviewing Phineas, like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so
Which
that was like all of the comments on my YouTube were like, how did in your like how did you get Phineas for your first one? And I was like,
yeah,
I don't know, but like
I don't
I
know.
didn't ask any
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah, I just took
But
it. Yeah, you just take
yeah,
those
you
opportunities.
just take it for sure.
Yeah, well, especially on your YouTube where that's like your very first like video that you've posted is like interview with
Yeah,
Phineas.
yeah, so random, but
Yeah,
here we
yeah,
are, I guess.
you're setting the bar high, but that's fine. You're gonna
And
get
that's
past that.
fine.
You're gonna
So
jump over that
true.
bar.
So true. We'll see.
um, so I want to transition a little bit here. I've got you sent me your like 10 favorite albums, 5 favorite
Right.
artists. Um, and I really like sometimes I cherry pick these lists because depending on the guest we might have talked about so and so before. I've had several people on here that really enjoy hip hop, so we've talked about like Kendrick Lamar over and over and over. So um, luckily you don't like hip hop, so that is great. So we're not going to talk about Kendrick Lamar.
Amazing.
Um,
I don't
but
know
who
much about hip hop.
but who I do want to talk about is I want to talk about Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and because those are both people on your favorite artist list, and then
For
Boy
sure.
Genius, which obviously includes Julian Baker. Um,
Love.
but I don't haven't talked about these ladies,
Mm.
and I'd love to because for one, love them all. For two,
Love.
love Boy Genius, and that's like
Love.
such a collaboration that will we ever have as good of a collaboration in the folk slash indie world? I don't think
Right.
so.
So good.
Um,
I don't think we can do it.
yeah, so maybe take us down like a little road of like why you like Phoebe, and Lucy and Boy Genius and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think I don't know, but one of like the main reasons I love music is I love feeling like I guess just like connected to it and like that sense of
Mm.
like when a song can like make me feel something like so deep, something that like either like a feeling like I didn't know that I was feeling and like they put it to words or something like that. Like I think that's something so beautiful about music. I think that's something that the three of them are all so talented at doing, and I feel like they do it in all very similar ways, but all very different ways
Yeah,
as well, which is crazy and cool. And then they come together, and it's even better somehow,
yeah.
which is awesome. But yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I guess they're all so good. I feel like I always say Phoebe's my favorite because I think she was the
Mm.
one that like I like really got into first. Like I'd listened to
Yeah.
like some Lucy and some Julian and like some Phoebe, but then like Punisher came out and that was like
Mm.
all
Yeah.
I listened to like that
Killer
whole
record.
year and
Yeah.
every year ever since. So good, so
Oh
insane. I
yeah.
feel like I don't know. There's not many artists who have like no bad song or no song that's even like below genius level. And to me, like Phoebe is like that
Mm.
artist. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Punisher was just such an amazing album, and just
so
yeah.
good.
Um, I remember when that came out and just being like, "Whoa!" Like I was kind of mostly a casual listener to Phoebe. Just I
Yeah.
knew I liked her stuff. I thought it was really good. I thought she was doing something that was really unique and was probably going to influence music like quite a bit. Punisher came out, and then like she just like between her and Lana Del Rey, like totally changed the landscape of like female folk pop indie, like just completely like
Yeah.
took it by storm. And for good reason. It's amazing. And funny also when I was going back and looking at your interviews, I noticed that you had a post on Instagram, and I'm not like on Instagram very much, so I hadn't even like looked through your feed ever.
Hmm.
And I saw a post where you posted it. It was like back, I don't know, it was like 2023. So this is like
Oh, dang.
we're
Okay.
going back,
We're
and
going back.
um I don't know. I feel like you don't have that many posts on Instagram because it's not like I was scrolling for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
feel like I
okay,
go on and off of like posting on
okay,
there,
okay. I was gonna
trying
say
to
because
keep up with all the
if
platforms.
if you were gonna try to go to 2023 on my Instagram, it would probably take you a long time of
No,
scrolling. It
that's
would be
fair.
like,
That's fair.
but anyway, I saw that you had a picture of Julia Baker. I was like, oh, that's funny. So I clicked on it, and then I saw that you posted lyrics from "Go Home," which is the song that got me onto Julian Baker, and I never turned back after that. It is still my
Yes,
favorite.
me
It's still my
too.
absolute favorite of hers, and
So good.
I think of because of the emotional connection I had with that song when I heard it. Like literally heard it for the first time, and I'm not like a crier very much, but I was
Hmm.
literally. It was so funny. I was literally working, and it's like in that Spotify area where it goes to radio, and then it just like starts going through like similar artists. I can't remember who I was listening to, but it wasn't Julian Baker, and it hit that song, and I was listening to it. It caught me, and then I just was like crying in the middle of my workday, and I was like, "What is happening to me?" And so I then went on a deep dive of Julian Baker, and um, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say that to say I appreciate "Go Home" so much. It's probably
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
such a good song.
So good, you know. Yeah. Anyway, just all the vibes, all the emotions there.
All the vibes.
Even though I'm like I don't really like if you think like line for line, it's not like I relate a ton to this, but you feel those emotions, and you're like, yeah, this is about like anything that you want it to be about. Like obviously she's writing it from her perspective of, the lyrics that she put in there, but from what you feel, you're like, yeah, this just feels like you want to be loved and you feel like you're not there, or you're longing basically
Yeah,
is what it feels like. It feels like longing. And
it's so
that's
good. Her voice is just so like whatever like emotion she's trying to convey, like she conveys it so well every time. Or like even if you're
mm,
not like
yeah.
feeling that or like in that emotion with her, you're like she like
Mhm.
takes you there anyways, which is just so impressive. Yeah, she's phenomenal. And that
Mm.
song specifically, that's the one that has the like hymn at the end, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
It
is
does.
like that's just like so like it adds just like such a deep layer to the
Mm,
song. That's just
it
like the
does.
first time I heard that was like yeah, just crazy, just
Mm.
crazy,
Yeah,
so
an
good.
amazing song, amazing artist. um Were you like, so obviously you've been following these ladies for a while. Um, did you know about Bogie? Like, did you know about this? Were you following this? And then like, what was it like for you when you heard the record? Like, obviously you love it because it's on your 10 favorite albums here.
Yeah,
Um, but it kind of crept up on me. Like I was kind of like in and out with these artists. They're not necessarily on my favorite artist list. I really love them, appreciate them. And I especially love like certain moments with them, like I said, with the Julian Baker "Go Home," Phoebe Bridgers' "Punisher."
right.
Um, but it kind of like all of a sudden I was like, "What? These people are teaming up and they have an album now?" Like it was just to
Yeah,
me, it was so out of the blue. But if you were following along, I'm sure there was a lot of anticipation and build up there.
for sure. I feel like I was following like at quite as closely like when they first got together and like built like the EP.
Mm,
But it was really exciting to like hear all of that for the first time. I feel like it was one of those things where it was like kind of after it came out and I didn't know it had come out, but like I stumbled across it and I was like, this is so like, how did I not know about this? Like so
mm,
crazy. And like that EP has stuck with me for so deeply for like ever since the first listen. I think
mm,
some of the most like beautiful lyrics are on that EP and I love it so much. And yeah, ever since then, I was always kind of like hopeful they would come back and like do the record, like a new record or like a new project, like
mm.
new something. But I was always like, oh, like they're all like doing their own thing, like it'll never happen. Can get your hopes up. And then it was so like I remember like the first time I saw like someone like leak a picture of the three of them together like for
Mm.
a photo shoot or something, and I was like, there's no way like they're coming back. And then yeah, it was just a lot of fun to like see it all like
Yeah.
roll out. And I
Mm,
had just like moved from Indiana to Colorado and like was just spending a lot of time like in my like bedroom listening to music because I didn't know like too many people yet, didn't have as
sure.
much going on, so it was
Yeah.
very like I don't know, just very exciting for me. I was keeping up with everything, and I went to like a record shop like for like a listening party before, and it was really
Okay,
fun
that's awesome.
to like hear the whole thing with like all these
Mm,
people who like were
yeah.
obviously like huge fans because like why else
Mm,
would they be there? And
mm.
like I don't know, the collective gasp during the song "Letter to an Old Poet" was like crazy when they started
Whoa.
like what's the word when they started like making it sound like me and my dog, everyone was
Mm.
like freaking out, and that was like such a fun little like
Yeah,
community moment in music
for
because we were
sure.
all like just having like I
Yeah,
don't know crazy time.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
it was really
That
fun. Yeah,
Yeah, those are moments that you really appreciate, and that,
yeah,
like, to some degree, like, obviously, music is very personal, and individual sometimes, but a lot of the time, it's also very collective, and those are some of the funnest, like, most fun moments that you could have when you're
for
in
sure.
a room with people or even wherever, outside, I don't know, but you're just like,
Yeah,
"This is an experience I had with a bunch of strangers, I don't know any of these people, but we were all here to listen, and it was amazing, and we loved it." And yeah,
yeah,
it's super cool.
so cool. Yeah, we'll never forget that. So crazy.
And did you catch them on tour at all?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I they were at Red Rocks, but I couldn't go
Mm.
for some reason, which is so sad. So
Oh
I
man.
flew out to Salt Lake to see my
Okay.
friend who lives there. We went to the show together, and then I also got to see them at All Things Go music
Okay.
festival. So I got to see
Yeah.
them twice, which was so
Yeah.
crazy, so exciting.
Yeah.
Except for oh my god, I was supposed to see them at um I went to the Taylor Swift show in Nashville, and I
Really?
was the third night maybe. Yes, because I wanted to see Phoebe Bridgers open and I wanted to see Gracie
Mm.
Abrams open.
Sure.
But I went the night that it got like rained out.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I didn't get to
brutal.
see. I got to see Phoebe do one song, I think. But the thing was, like, Boy Genius was there all the other nights, and I was so excited about it, and then didn't get to see them. But
Oh
that's
man.
okay. It
Uh,
made up for it
yeah,
all the other times.
that was like a nightmare for some people that night. The the rain out, like,
Oh my god,
brutal.
it was great. That was a crazy night. That was
Mm.
wild. But
Yeah, we weren't in Nashville at that point, but if we were, I'm sure my wife would have either been at the concert one of those nights or been watching from the bridge or something if she couldn't get
for
tickets.
sure,
So,
yeah. Yeah, it was
oh
crazy.
gosh,
It was super cool. But yeah,
yeah.
didn't get to see Boy Genius that night.
Mm,
But
no,
that's
that's too
good.
bad.
I think
Yeah,
we
you got.
immediately bought the Boy Genius tickets after that. 'Cause we were
Oh,
like,
okay,
oh
yeah,
man, like I
okay,
didn't
yeah,
realize how badly I wanted to see them.
yeah,
But
totally, yeah, man. Yeah, you
man,
mentioned Red Rocks. How magical of a venue space is that?
it's so magical. It's like
Yeah.
it's so crazy. I used to like fly out from like Indiana to
Mm,
Colorado to like go to a Red Rocks concert, and it was
really?
always just like the
Okay.
most like special thing ever because it's like so
Yeah.
beautiful there. I went.
Yeah.
My first one was Hippocampus was opening for Head in the Heart, and it was just
Oh,
like it was
whoa,
so perfect. It was
that's
awesome.
amazing.
It
Yeah.
was so good. And then I got to see Phoebe there.
Mhm.
That was another trip I took. And
Yeah.
now it's just like it's so crazy that like I can go there like anytime that I want to, like if I get
Yeah.
tickets. And every
That's
time
amazing.
it's just like I don't know, it's just the best. It doesn't get old or like any less it's magical because it's
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so good.
There's only a few venues like that. Like there's that are just
Yeah,
magical like that. And that one like couples like because like there's some really cool like indoor venues, but like coupling outdoor with like just the lore like of that venue is just amazing.
yeah,
I've always wanted to go. I've never had a chance to.
you gotta make the
But
trip.
it sounds amazing. There is a venue here in Nashville that like is very historic. I don't know if you've heard of the Ryman Auditorium.
I have, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, but that's a pretty like sought after venue. So it would kind of be up there sort of in terms of
for
the
sure.
magicalness of it, but I just love
Yeah,
the outdoor aspect even though the sound isn't going to be the same in an outdoor venue, but
yeah,
still like just like the beauty of being there, I don't know. It just seems amazing to me. I would say if I were to have a venue bucket list, that would probably be like at the top probably.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was always on mine for sure. Yeah, who would you
Yeah.
want to see there?
Bon Iver. I
That'd be
feel like that would
so
be
good.
I feel like that would just be a dream come true because except for he's like, yeah, I don't really think I'll ever tour again. I'm like, oh, you jerk.
Whatever.
Come
It's
on,
a
man.
The
Come
fun thing
on.
is though, I feel like sometimes artists like will just have like special like shows there or something, like 'cause it's
Mm,
like a
yeah,
fun place to go to. So it could happen.
yeah. Well, and I feel your pain when you said you grew up in Indiana and not very many artists would even come that way. I grew up on the east coast of Canada and nobody came out that
Gotcha.
way unless they were Canadian, and which
Right.
we've got some good bands
For sure.
and so I've City and Color. I love Dallas Green.
Oh
He's great.
yeah.
I've seen him several
Yeah.
times. Um, but yeah. So I now that I'm in Nashville, I'm like, this is amazing. I get to see like lots of people. But Bon Iver has been my favorite artist for probably as long as I can remember, and now he's like, now I'm in a place finally where I'm like, I could actually see him, and now he's like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever tour again. And I'm like, shoot. I guess I'm gonna have to
Shoot.
probably like pay a ton of money once you decide to do a pop up somewhere or like a one off show to fly there and then to pay ridiculous amounts of money for the tickets just because I'm like, I gotta see you once.
You gotta do it,
Once. Like, come
yeah.
on.
That'll be worth it. Good
I don't know. We'll see.
experience.
We'll see.
We'll
Well,
see.
it would be a miracle if he decided that he was going to do a one-off show at Red Rocks. I'd be there.
Okay,
Except for the
awesome. See
tickets
you
would
there.
be like they'd be like $10,000. Like how many like seats are there? Like that's the issue is if he does a one
That's
off
true.
if he's only doing one off shows, like everybody's gonna be in the same
Everyone's gonna
mentality as
show
me.
it.
Like I'll fly, I'll go. Like
That's
I'll have
true.
to see
But
him
you might get
in
lucky.
yeah, it's true. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I'm jealous that you're right there, right by Red Rocks, because that's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, it's been a dream for sure. I've been loving
Yeah.
it here.
Um. So let's move on to the 1975.
Okay,
Another
love.
favorite of yours. Um. To be honest, have not spent a lot of time with them. They've been on
Yeah,
the
fair
periphery
enough.
for me. So I don't know. The only thing I know about Matt Healy is that he dated Taylor Swift. And
Yeah,
that's all I know. Like I know some of their songs obviously because they've had big enough hits that they're everywhere and stuff, but there's a lot, like there just seems to be a lot surrounding that band, like a lot of
for
lore, a
sure.
lot of
So
drama.
much lore.
um and I just don't know, like, and maybe the reason why I'm like I don't know if I can get into them is because I feel like if I have to listen to them, I'm gonna have to like get into like all of this stuff, all of like the stories and all, like, because I feel like sometimes with certain bands, that's what makes their music great. Like I think of 21 Pilots, for
Sure.
example. I'm like, I don't think 21 Pilots is that great. But then people are like, but have you heard the lore? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, that's what makes them great. And I'm like, well, then it's not
Yeah.
music. It's not music anymore. To me, at that point, I'm like, then it's like a movie. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so I want you to do a little bit of a maybe a mini deep dive on
Oh
1975.
man.
Explain it to me
Okay.
like I'm your grandpa and never heard of them.
Oh god. Okay. Okay, let me try. So 1965 is made up of there's like a band of boys. They started when they were super young. I want to say like 12, and like
Wow.
they were
Okay.
just like good
Uh-huh.
friends, have been like making music together ever since.
Sure.
Which is cute. It's
Yeah.
very wholesome. I think that's one of the most like endearing parts about them as a band is they like all grew up like
Uh,
together and like have they're all like brothers basically just with how much like they've done together and grown up together and like have built together, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and Matty Healy is obviously like the front man. He's like
Yep.
I don't know. The rest of the band members seem a lot more just like chill, like cool with being in the background. Like
uh,
they're all so talented, very genius. But like I don't know. I think Matty's just the one that like is willing to like speak up and do silly things and just kind of
uh,
like fuck
Sure.
around.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I think the reason I don't know. I've been following them since I was like 12 years old, and like when
Okay.
their first album came out, like I was just like I was in middle school, I think, and like have
Yeah.
been listening to them ever since. And I think I was unaware of like a lot of the lore until like I really started taking a deep dive. And I think
uh,
like what draws me to them so much is like I don't know. I watched like so many interviews of Matty Healy like talking about what why he's making what he does and like why he like wanted to make this music video or what this song means to him. And I think
uh,
like the way that he like talks about art and the way he like um I don't know, the way he like makes it, I guess, is something I think is so impressive and very very cool. Like he everything he does like has like a meaning and there's like all this stuff like behind it. And I think that's really cool. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. No, okay. I appreciate that. I can get behind a band that just started as a bunch of friends. Like you said, that's super wholesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Um,
It's awesome for sure.
what I don't understand of it all then
Hmm.
is, which I'm sure there's a lot here. You definitely, I know you definitely took like a very like way above
For
view of
sure,
this,
for sure.
but like from what I was hearing and like what my wife was telling me was like Matty Healy is this horrible guy, and like I can't believe he's dating Taylor Swift. He's gonna ruin her, and I'm like what is this guy like a thug? Like he's in like a rock band, but like a pop rock band. Like he can't be that bad. Like it's not like I don't know. What like
Yeah,
what was all of that about? Why was that such a thing?
that I think okay, I think there's a lot to that. I think I don't know, a lot of people like just didn't I don't think fully understand like Matty Healy and who he is and what he does. He does just a
uh,
lot of just like I don't know, he just like will, like say things or just kind of like do things to cause a reaction and there's always kind of like
uh,
a meaning behind like what he does. He always kind of has like something going on like behind the scenes. I feel like a lot of people just like maybe didn't understand yeah, understand like the stuff behind that, and they took a lot of things like out of context. So a lot of people just like
uh,
yeah haven't been following the band since they were 12 years old and like know all the
Sure.
stuff like
Sure.
behind it. Um, so yeah, I don't know. He does a lot of like yeah, just like interesting things. Like he's not very um I don't know. It's complex for sure, and I feel like I had like I don't know many thoughts as it was all like
Mm,
happening, I guess. But I
yeah.
think I don't know. My position still stands that a lot of things are taken out of context. People just like didn't
Sure.
understand like everything that's going
Probably.
on. I guess you can't really blame them for that too much because like I don't know. You can't expect people to know everything about everyone, but
Well, and also like Swifties are just so weirdly protective about Taylor Swift's love life, and it's like just leave her alone. Like I don't know. She can
yeah, there
she can
is
date
there
this
is
guy.
definitely that aspect to it as well because I feel like Swifties are just a whole other level of like taking like a narrative and running with it or just kind of like
Yeah.
they'll defend her to the ground a lot of times, which
Yeah.
yeah is fine. But
That's oh man, it's so interesting. Where was the 1975 the band that like they had this thing that they did this like shtick in their like live performance where he would start like talking into the mic and he was like about to say something offensive and the band would start playing like and
mm-hmm.
obviously it was a joke like it
Yeah,
wasn't serious but that's them right that
yes, that's
yeah
them.
okay
That's them.
I
And like
thought
yeah,
that
that's
was
the type of stuff
okay
that he like will like do or like say, and it's like it's like a joke, like
Yeah,
because like the joke is like Maddie says offensive stuff, and it's like
yeah,
no, yeah,
yeah.
he doesn't
I
actually, but
I
like
thought
yeah,
that I thought that was a really funny like bit that they had in those
right,
performances. I thought it was really funny,
so
and like
funny,
so
so
many people
funny,
were like, "Oh, I can't believe that," and I'm like, "This is clearly a bit." Like, I don't
right?
think,
You're like
yeah,
you're
like
lacking a little like I don't
if
know
as a
insight
band, if
there.
you're in those moments of like in between when the front guy is talking, you're not really paying attention. Like if you've watched a live show, like everybody else is just they hear he's talking because they want to pay attention to when eventually he's going to wind down and cue for the song to come in.
Hmm.
But they're not. They're like tuning, they're like talking to each other, they're taking a drink, like so for
Yeah,
them to be like apparently listening to everything Maddie is saying and then be like, "Oh, he's getting real racist," and then like just like start to play. It's
start
like,
play.
"Nah, come on, guys. Like, you can't be that
It's so
naive. This is
funny,
obviously a bit."
right? Especially when he does it at like every show, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a bit
exactly.
like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
It was a
funny.
funny bit. It was a funny bit.
It
I
was a funny
appreciated
bit.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, that
uh,
that whole situation was funny because I was like I've been a Swiftie like my whole life too. And
mm,
then but also like loved 1975. So it was a weird
mm.
like worlds colliding
That's
moment for
true.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. Where
Yeah,
you're
just
like,
weird.
I don't know what to think or feel, or
Yeah,
like,
just so
and then it was
weird. I was
so
like,
short lived, and
uh-huh. It
yeah,
was just so weird that like they existed in the same like universe. Because to me it
yeah,
was like, oh, like my like Swiftie like pop music that I don't
mm,
listen to that much, but like super nostalgic, super like love. And then my
yeah.
like my favorite like boy band, and I was like, how do I don't know,
Mm,
crazy
that is crazy.
but fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I might have to check that. I've been saying for a long time I probably should start listening to 1975 because I feel like they're big, but I feel like they're on the cusp of like blowing up, like to
Yeah,
like I could feel the tension of like they're right there. They're like almost they're almost gonna be doing like yeah, basically like Harry Styles type shows. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was next. It feels like it's getting to that point. They just need, you know, an album that's marketable enough, I think, at this point.
for sure. Yeah,
So yeah, I've been like I should probably listen to them, but it was just a funny one of those bands where I'm like I'm sure like their music's good. Like I like what they're doing, but there just seems like
hmm,
too much like peripheral things that need to learn in order to
fair
understand.
enough. There's also a lot like so much music. Like they have so many
They
albums
have
out, or it's
they
like
have
that's
put out a
intimidating
lot.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, they've put out a ton of music, which is so
they
crazy to
have.
me. Yeah,
So
because it
crazy.
feels like I think to like a casual listener, somebody that hasn't been following them but now is aware, like I feel like to them they're like, oh, they've only been around for like 5 years or something, or like 10 years, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, right. They have like
It's been
so
a
many
while.
albums, so many
Yeah, so
albums.
many albums. So many albums. So good. So good.
So what would you be able to do like a five favorite 1975 songs? Because this will
Okay,
help me.
yes.
This will help me get
For
into.
sure. I okay, yeah. I made a list before this because I was like, there's no way I'm just gonna be able to come up with that off the top of my
Yeah.
head. And because they have so much music, I kind of had to um like pivot to like songs that were like songs of theirs that maybe like were the most like impactful to me or like
Okay.
really like stuck out like in that way. Cause like
Yeah.
I have some favorites like right now, but like I don't know. There's definitely songs that like really made me think or like really made me
Mm.
like I don't know, like changed my like view on something. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I stuck with.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want me to read them off?
Yeah. Give it to us.
Okay, starting. I'll start from number 5 and make my way up to my favorite. So that
Yeah.
feels
That sounds
most
great.
fun. Okay,
Yeah.
my fifth favorite is Nothing Revealed, Everything Denied. My fourth one is Be My Mistake. That's a very like acousticy, like one of their more like stripped back songs, which is
Sure.
always my favorite type of song.
Hmm.
Then it's Love It If We Made It, which is a very like I don't know, it's like a political song, but it's not one that's like so in your face that it's like cheesy. It's like it's very real, and I feel like that's something I really like about him is he does that very well. My second is If I Believe You, which is such gorgeous production. The lyrics are insane. Like that one, the first time I really listened to it, like made me stop in my tracks. And then my first favorite is Sex, which is from their first album. And that one is just, I don't know, super fun, I
Yeah.
guess. That's a fun
Yeah.
one. And I think they have versions of it that are like super fun and they have versions of it that are like acoustic. And I think it's really cool that like depending on what like version you listen to, it like really brings out like a different side of the song. So it's like
Mhm.
good like no matter how they play it, which is really cool.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
those are five.
Interesting.
Five to get you started.
No, that's perfect. While you have your list out there,
For
I
sure.
also asked you about your 5 favorite Phoebe Bridgers songs. So you might
Yes.
as well just give those to us too.
Okay, I can do that. That was a little easier because she doesn't have quite
No,
as many songs,
not as
but
many.
they're all really good. I feel like
Yeah.
the 1975 has some songs that are just like that are skips only because they're like part of like an album that are like so just like I don't know. Like it's very like much like an art form. So some songs are
Sure.
like you want to just like listen to it. They're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
all
yeah.
like singles, you know.
Yeah.
But Phoebe Bridgers, every single song's good. Her
Yeah.
discography is a lot more concise. Um, but yeah, my top five for that. My fifth is Scott Street. My fourth is Punisher.
Yep.
Three is Waiting Room. Two is Graceland 2. And one is Moon Song. Such a good song. One of my favorites. That song was my top song on Spotify Wrapped for like 3 years in a row.
Really.
We
Hey,
go way back.
that's that's amazing. You just
Yup.
yeah, it's worn out. Spotify is like, or whatever streaming service you use is like,
Spotify.
hey, you can't listen to this anymore. This song is worn out.
Yet
That's
I still
amazing.
keep listening.
Yeah.
It's so
Hey, I
good.
love that.
Yeah.
It is that like that is like an interesting thing. As somebody that's a music content creator,
Mhm.
obviously you have to be listening to a lot of music all the time. Are you like just naturally or habitually like a repeater? Do you like what you like and you revisit that a lot? Or are you like an explorer? Like you're just like, what's new? What's new? I need new.
That's a good question. I feel like I go through phases of both. It kind of depends on,
Mm,
yeah, my mood. Because
sure.
I definitely have like go-tos and like, I don't know, Phoebe's one that I'm just like, I'm always listening to, or like
Hmm.
1975, or just like, I can just put, they're a song on repeat, or like I have my playlists that are just like, these are my songs that I like when I'm like, just need something like that. But something I love is just like discovering music and like finding new artists and stuff. So, yeah, kind of a balance on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling a little like, if I need to be more like stimulated, I think is when I like go for something new. But then when I'm
Yeah,
needing to be like maybe like comforted or something like that is
sure.
when I
Yeah.
choose my
Y-
comfort
Yeah.
music.
You're like, I'm in my feels. Phoebe,
Yeah,
lead me, Phoebe.
maybe let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although, like, it could leave you in your feels for a lot longer than maybe you wanted to be, but
I feel like though like when I listen to that, it's like I know what I'm getting into. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
I know
yeah,
how this
yeah,
is gonna make me
yeah.
feel.
Okay, yeah,
So like I, you
that's good.
know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I love all those
for
like
sure.
I love all those memes. It was a while ago, but like where people were like, "Who needs therapy when?" and then they would just put like a song like title up or like a artist name, and I'm like, yeah, there's so
Yeah.
like there's definitely some artists out there where you're like, if I'm not in my feels right now or I'm not depressed right now, if I start listening to them, I will be because like their music is just so emotional and emotionally
Yeah,
charged that it's like
for sure.
you can't be happy and then just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna turn on, you know, whoever. Phoebe Bridgers would probably be one that would be kind of there.
For
Um,
sure, yeah. I feel
like I
like
just
yeah, for me it's like I don't know, I love music that like brings a like an emotional response out of me. Like that's something I that's kind of like what I look for with good music. It's
yeah,
like part of it is almost like I don't know, a little bit like comforting to like have that like mood personified like in a song that you can like listen to and kind of feel like I don't know, comforted by in a way. That makes
yeah.
sense. But
No, I totally get that.
yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked you the question about like, are you like somebody that goes back a lot to old music is like there was a time where I was just constantly playing like same albums over and over, and I got so tired of it, even though I loved it. that I went on like a 3 year, just like I'm gonna only listen to new music. Basically,
Oh
I didn't like
wow.
I didn't decide that, but like it was almost like my body, my mind was like, you can't keep doing this, and I just and
Yeah.
that's kind of what like started me to do some music content creation stuff. Was I was just like I need to expand myself a little bit here, and then once I
Oh
started, I was
cool.
like I couldn't get enough. But now it's funny because now I'm like I need some like I almost need grounding. Like so I'm like I need
Yeah.
something because there's so much new. I need something familiar, and it doesn't have to be like really really old. Like it doesn't have to be like I need to go back 4 years when I like sometimes it is that like I go back to
Hmm.
the classics. I go back to Frema or something. But
Right.
sometimes it's like just that album that I discovered 2 years ago that I really really loved, and like I'll listen to that for really like just constantly over and over again. And so it is funny that my body was like, no, you need something new, and then now I'm like, I need something old, I need something I know and I'm
Yeah,
familiar with and like comfortable with. So it's
for
funny how
sure.
music is just, I don't know, it's a weird thing that way. It just, you get
Yeah.
cravings in the same way.
So true. No, I totally relate to that. Before I moved out to Colorado, I was definitely in like I need to discover all these new things. Like,
Mm,
I don't know, I just was feeling so bored by everything I was listening to, which is also like, yeah, what kind of like sparked my like music curation like
mm,
platform. And then I moved to Colorado and I was like, everything is new. Like, I need to start like listening to like some old stuff. Like, I need to
yeah,
be
yeah.
comforted by like my music and like a
Hmm.
world where everything was so different and so new. And I feel like, yeah, lived with that for a while, and now I'm starting to get back into like the discovery mode
Hmm.
as I've like got my routine going a little more. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no,
goes in
it's
phases.
yeah, it does. It does. With that, I'd love to hear maybe some people that are on your radar, like some new
Mm,
stuff that has come out, maybe in 2025, maybe some artists you're keeping an eye on.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like every time someone asks me that, I'm like, I don't know anyone. I've
There's
never
too
listened
many.
to music.
I've never, yeah, this is the
I
first
don't
time.
know. Yeah,
What
but
is music?
so true. The first artist that comes to mind is Jake Minch. I think he's been around for like a little bit, but yeah, has an album coming out sometime this year, I think, which is exciting. But he's one of those artists who just like has such like incredible like storytelling, like the way he writes his music and also the way he like performs it is so like raw and intimate where you like listen to it and you just like feel it so deeply, which I love. It's like a I don't know, it's just so good. So I
Mm,
think him for sure.
yeah.
Who else? Someone I discovered last year that I really loved was the band Sunday 1994. They're kind of a bit more like dreamy pop, which is super fun. It's kind of like
Okay.
reminiscent to like Maisie Starr, like someone like that.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
So that's super fun. And then oh, this one, okay, this is another artist. She's been around for a little bit, but I've recently gotten back into her and I'm really
Mm,
excited for her new stuff. But Alice Phoebe Lou, she also has like a dreamy, like indie pop vibe, but she's incredible and I just recently rediscovered how much I love her, so I'm really
mm,
excited for all that's to come. Uh,
mm. Nice.
so
And
yeah.
I'm assuming you loved Lucy Dacus's new album.
So good. So good.
She's happy now, so it's like
It's awesome.
it's a
So
whole
happy for
different
her.
stage in her
Yeah.
writing career. I guess
It's crazy.
I don't know what the theme is because that's the same with Bon Iver's new album. He's happy now.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
like what's with like these artists that were depressed for so long and now they're happy, which is great for them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy. But yeah, I was really curious to see like how that was gonna go. Cause like Lucy's never really written like a love song before, like
yeah.
had themes of that like on her album.
Hmm.
And I was really, really, really impressed with how incredible it was. I feel like she has so many like fantastic lines that really depict like being in like such like a healthy like strong relationship like that. That I just
Hmm.
like they just like it stops me like in my tracks sometimes. And like I hear a new one that like hadn't stood out to me before, and I'm like, she like wrote that
Yeah.
so like so well. And I don't know, I feel like I was very lucky where like I'm kind of in that like same like mindset. Like I'm in a very like happy, healthy relationship right now, so I was really able to like feel that and like be
Mm.
there with her rather than like
Yeah.
being like, what the hell, like give me your depressing stuff again. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be happy. I want to be sad. No,
yeah,
it is.
yeah. So I was lucky with that.
I do find it like it's funny how like it is more difficult to convey, or at least it feels like if you just look at the overall like theme of music in general, feels like most artists have a really hard time um properly conveying like positive emotions.
Yeah,
It's like negativity is what is the best, and like you think about whether that's like heartbreak or whether that's like kind of the punk movement of like we hate rules and we hate the government. Like it's almost like negativity seems to be kind of the easiest thing to write about, whereas something that's happy and positive, it's like a lot of people I think are like, oh, that's cheesy, that's corny. Like it's really hard to
yeah,
convey those positive emotions because there's so much more like individualized. Like some people are more level, so like their positives are, as you know, other people are like, whoa, like when they're
yeah,
way up here they're way up there, and it's like, how do you write about that if you're that type of person to like the person that's pretty level? I don't know, it is just really
yeah.
strange.
It is strange. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I always find it harder to like connect to like my creativity or like create things when I'm like in like the more like positive mindset, and like when I'm in like more of a negative one is when I feel like I don't know, just
Mhm.
like more connected to my creativity, which is weird. And it's probably why I love like Phoebe and Lucy and like Jillian so much because I feel like they really know
Yeah,
how to like tone into that and like create that into
yeah,
something
yeah,
something beautiful. But yeah, I
yeah.
think the way that Lucy did it was super cool. I feel like that's probably like her like trying to figure out how to describe this. But I think because she's so good at like depicting those like sad and like emotional moments is like almost why at least like to me her depicting like a happy healthy relationship was so like effective and so like done so well and like spoke with me so well because I feel like yeah she kind of connected to those deep emotions and like turned them into something that was like I don't know just like interesting, I guess. Like she
Yeah.
kind of did it in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was well done. I thought that she's just such a talented
she's so
lyricist,
talented.
especially, and um so yeah, I thought that she did a really good job on that
Yeah,
record.
for
And
sure.
the yeah, like you said, they all three of them are just so good at figuring out how to kind of push their emotions through that difficult barrier, which is the music that you hear. Like they do it in such a good way. So yeah, I thought it was a really strong record, and I have to listen to it a few more times to like
For
really
sure.
I think decide, um not like decide from a review, but like just to decide where I'm going to put this album. Is this going to be an album that I'm going to revisit a lot, or is it just like I thought this
Yeah,
was really good and like, but you know, anyway, because
yeah,
there's
for
so much
sure.
music that you hear and you're like, that was good, and then it's like, how often do you ever go back to it? But
Exactly. Yeah, especially now with like I don't know, there's just
oh
so
my
much
gosh,
music to consume. It's
too
crazy. But
too
yeah,
much music.
we'll see. We'll see with this one for sure. There's definitely like two or three songs that I think are gonna stick with me for a while, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah, where the others land, and I'll have to revisit it a lot too. But yeah,
yeah, for
so good
sure. Yeah. Um, do you have anything out like on the radar for artists, like some of your artists that you really follow a lot? Like, are there any projects you're really excited for?
Oh, I feel like all of them just came out last week. There was
Yeah.
there was an album by Samia, who's like one of my all-time favorite artists. There was an album by Jensen McRae, who's someone I've been following for a while. I was really excited to hear more about them. And then
Mhm.
Gigi Perez released her album as
Oh
well.
man,
So
what did you think of Gigi's? That was
it was good. I haven't like fully sat and like
fully,
listened
yeah.
to all of it, but everything that I've heard so far phenomenal. She's so good at making music.
Yeah.
So very
Yeah.
exciting. Very
I
exciting to
I like
watch.
oddly, I don't normally with Gigi. It was weird, but I oddly like listened to it 2 times, like, back to back. I was just in
Oh,
the zone. For some reason, I was in the
yeah,
zone. Sometimes I get into these. I work from home.
yeah,
I do, like, social media management, but I, like, sometimes I just get into these zones where I'm, like, so productive, but, like, oddly sometimes when I'm really productive, I can't really listen to like music, so I have to listen like sometimes
right.
I'll like listen to like, instrumental stuff or whatever. But I was oddly like really productive but really attentive. And I was like in this zone when the album ended. I was like I could sense myself getting out of that, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I don't want to lose it. So I just restarted the album,
Yeah,
listened to it again, and I was like, this is an amazing album. It's really good, and I like it was just a weird moment that I had. Like I don't know, it was so
that's
weird. It
so
was
fun though.
kind of not related to the album, but I think also related to the album. And but that's what the music is when you have like a connection with it, even if it is kind of a weird, obscure connection
For
with
sure.
music. It really like sits with you in a different way. Like in the same way that
Yeah,
you could listen to a really crappy album that like critically is not great, but you listened to it while you're on a road trip somewhere and it was really fun, and you're like, I love this album, and like
mm-hmm.
everybody's like, this is such a horrible album. You're like, no, it's not. It's great. I love it because I
Uh-huh.
remember all of these moments that I had on this road trip or something. It was kind of
Yeah,
like I'm not trying to say that her album wasn't good like in and of itself because I do think
for
that,
sure.
but it was just a weird moment for me that I had with it, and I really I thought that it was really well done, and
Yeah.
I didn't want that moment to end, um, but then I had to go. I was at a coffee shop too. It was really weird. It was so weird.
Yeah. How interesting. Yeah, it's so crazy how music can do that, and like you feel so connected to a certain moment, like through a
Yeah.
song, which is just
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah,
So fun.
absolutely.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to give that one a deeper listen for sure. It's been on
Yeah,
my
I thought
radar for a long time.
yeah, I definitely think that it's worth giving it a few more goes for sure. Um, well, I think we've been chatting for a while here, so I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna call it. This has been a
sounds
lot of fun.
good. This has been.
I appreciate your time. It's been
Thank
really
you.
great just chatting music, getting to know you a little bit more. I wish you all the best with your interviews. I'm gonna be keeping up with
Thank
them, and
you.
when you interview, I don't know what would the pinnacle be? Probably Taylor Swift, right? Like that's
Phoebe
like the pinnacle.
Bridgers.
Oh,
Phoebe
Phoebe.
Bridgers, I
Okay,
think, just because, yeah, she's just been
just
my
because
favorite for
of
so long.
okay,
Taylor Swift
okay.
would be just like on like a different
Yeah, that would
level.
be like
I don't
that would
think I've
be
even thought about that, you know?
that would be like a fame pinnacle. That would like you wouldn't be able to go
Yeah,
to anybody more famous than that. But yeah, okay, Phoebe Bridgers.
exactly. Phoebe
That's the new
Bridgers. Spread
mountain.
the
Okay.
word.
Okay, I'll spread the word. I'm
Thank you.
excited to see your interview with Phoebe Bridgers. It's going to be great.
Thank you. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
but I'm so glad you took the time to be on the show. It was a lot of fun. I know listeners are going to enjoy this and enjoy you explaining the 1975 to me, an old man. So
Hopefully I
yeah.
did it justice.
Oh,
We'll
I'm
see.
sure you
We'll
did.
see.
No, it's great. Yeah. So if anybody's
Awesome.
listening, go follow. Uh, I am not. What is your handle again? I'm not going to try to do it because
No,
I'm not
that's
going to be able.
totally fine. It's haha, okay, cool, gotta go by.
Okay. Hey, I love it. It like
Thank
comes off
you.
the tongue perfectly, but like I would mess
Hmm.
that up absolutely.
That's
Um,
okay.
yeah. So
It's a silly
yeah,
one,
any
but
go go follow her TikTok, Instagram, YouTube as well. If you want to watch
yeah.
the whole interviews. And yeah, we'll see you guys on another episode with another guest.